Yes, I'm going to talk about this. George Lucas. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. George Lucas backs Disney and Bob Iger in proxy fight. Creating magic is not for amateurs. The filmmaker, Star Wars creator, and Disney shareholder released a statement in support of the company and its CEO on Tuesday morning. Yep. So, why he's doing this? Frankly, you blame the people who made him so. There is a disturbance in the force, and George Lucas wants to help correct the problem. Star Wars, an Indiana Jones filmmaker, is weighing in on the Walt Disney Company ongoing proxy fight with activist investors, and he has thrown his support firmly behind CEO Bob Iger and Disney board. Creating magic is not for amateurs. When I sold Lucasfilm just over a decade ago, I was delighted to become a Disney shareholder because of my longtime admiration for its iconic brand and Bob Iger's leadership, Lucas said in a statement Tuesday. When Bob Iger recently returned to the company during a difficult time, I was relieved. No one knows Disney better. I remain a significant shareholder because I have full faith and confidence in the power of Disney and Bob Iger's track record of driving long-term value. I have voted all of my shares for Disney's 12 directors and urge other shareholders to do the same. I can tell you why he's doing this. Lucas is a high-profile name to support Iger and Disney, following similar statements of support from the family of Walt and Roy Disney last month, not to mention the shareholder services firm Glass Lewis, which released its recommendation to support the Disney board this week. Disney is facing a proxy fight against two activists, the corporate raider Nelson Peltz and Blackwell's Capital. Notably, Peltz has billions of dollars in shares pledged by Ike Perlmutter, who, like Lucas, sold his company Marvel to Disney and became a major shareholder. Perlmutter remained with Disney until being laid off last year. It is not clear how much Disney stock Lucas owns, but when the company acquired Lucasfilms for $4 billion, the deal included about $1.8 billion in stock. Marvel, similarly, was acquired for about $4 billion. Disney has been unaggressively pushing back against the activists, not only online, a strategic game plan, but framing them as being more self-interested than pro-Disney. Yeah. Well, I will explain this after we do this. This is the Fox Business. Lucas says no one knows Disney better as he backs Iger and in his proxy war with Peltz. Yeah. I'll tell you, legendary filmmaker George Lucas is back in Disney and CEO Bob Iger. Yeah, okay, the reason he's doing this, and it's real simple, it has to go back to when he sold this company. See, in 2012, George Lucas sold his company to Disney. Why? Because when he made the announcement that he was ready to do a new trilogy, Twitter came into existence. People who heard this new trilogy TV show, they went, those that hated the prequels went crazy on Twitter and went, no. They didn't listen to the rest of what George Lucas said. He had said it takes him 10 years to do one of these trilogies. He was 69 years old. That means he would be 79 when he finished. Also, he said he wanted to spend more time with his daughter because he's also married and have more time with his family, which told me he was most likely not going to be directed. He probably would have picked the directors to direct it because I think at his age he was ready not to have to direct anymore and just produce the film and work with probably bring in Lawrence Kasdan and help him finish the scripts so that way he could put the proper director in charge, storyboard have the storyboards ready, have everything in place so that he can handle directing the film while he produced it. And yeah, and this is why Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher were getting in shape and everything, and Harrison Ford was excited because, from what I understand, George let know that essentially his new Star Wars film that everybody, the three, were all about Leia becoming a Jedi. Yeah, they were Leia centric, and that would have been really cool. We would have probably led into the Heir of the Empire, where she's already a Jedi, and she and Han are married, and they have twins, brother and sister. And we would have had Mara Jade come in, and she would have married Luke Skywalker, popped out his kid, Ben Skywalker, in honor of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, but when people heard this, they went ballistic, and essentially they harassed and bullied this man to sell his company to Disney. Yes, Bob Iger initially said that he would do what George had the treatment, but knowing how much people hated his prequels and the way they treated him on Twitter, I don't think Bob Iger intended to do that. Yeah, George Lucas made comments that these are white slavers, and he did shit on the company, but I don't think he really cares anymore. He's retired. He made comments about the new Disney Star Wars. They said, they're not my Star Wars. I have my 6 Star Wars, but Disney can do what they want with this stuff. I don't own it anymore because he sold his company because these people hated this man. And for anybody, and I've seen many people make videos about this, they literally thought George Lucas was going to come in and save the company. The guy is not young. George Lucas he's like retirement age. I think he wanted to retire. He took the money he didn't even need because he's still, and I think he's enjoying his retirement. I don't think he was ever coming back. But that's the problem with people who say all this stuff about how much they're George Lucas fans, but they hate the prequels. I'm a true George Lucas Star Wars fan. People that hate the prequels were Disney fans, and they were excited. Yeah, Disney, they saved it from George Lucas. And then they got the new Star Wars, and they said, oh God, this is far worse. I'll just add something on top of it. Jake Lloyd, who played Anakin Skywalker in Phantom Menace, he wasn't acting because people literally sent his family death threats. They were going to find out where they live and kill him for playing Anakin Skywalker. I thought he was great. I don't know why people hated him or Hayden Christensen, because I thought Hayden was great as Anakin Skywalker. But yeah, Armin Best almost committed suicide. We know this from Seth Green, but George Lucas got him not to kill himself, and for all those people, fuck you. The prequels are as good as the original trilogy. It's just that most of you weren't born when that stuff came out, so you have no real connection. Your first experience was probably the extended editions when they were put in theater before George Lucas did the prequels. So you only have the, traditionally you only have the prequels go by because you didn't have that experience when the Star Wars original trilogy came out. So there you go. Yeah, this is Gilgamesh. I will talk to you later. Bye.